Hey folks, Templar here, and welcome to another Let's Talk video. And today's a special one for all you Pokemon lovers. And as you can tell by the title, it says Lifespan and its Future. And to be honest guys, there's a reason for this. As many of you may or may not notice, Pokemon has been coming out faster and faster. A bit too fast for my taste, and I begin to suspect something's not right. I mean, let's think about it for a second guys. Since Sinnoh, we had, Black and White, then Black and White 2 come out, I think it was like 2 to 3 years later. Then I think a year and a half later we had X and Y. Then I think 2 years later we had Oras. Then I think a couple years later we had Sun and Moon. And now a year later we got Ultra Sun and Moon. Now that kind of trend is kind of worrying, and it's kind of signaling to me that Pokemon's lifespan is getting shorter and shorter by the iteration. And I fear that this might only have probably what, 2 iterations left. Now before you guys blitzkrieg me in the comments saying, oh, you don't know what you're talking about and all this, hear me out what I've got to say, and you might be surprised what I've got to say. Recently, Nintendo has been announcing a lot of games, but yet the 3DS side of it, hardly any. Been like little nips and bips, and that's it. No major like mega titles, while Nintendo Switch is getting a lot of titles. So this begs the question, is the 3DS getting phased out, and Pokemon might leave the 3DS for good, but in doing this, means that the Pokemon, brand and franchise might have to take radical changes in order to keep relevant, or is it just a simple case just switch over? I can't, say for certain. But the reason I'm also saying about the lifespan is because most of the Pokemon we've seen in Sun and Moon, I'm gonna be honest, a lot of them didn't make, match play, like online play. However, a lot of them did in the early days, but when we now skim it down now, there's hardly any. I normally see old classic ones like Magmar, Blastoise, Zapdos. Old Gen 1 Pokemon are still being used, while there's hardly any of the new gens. Heck, there's even Hoenn Pokemon that's still getting used today, but hardly any of the new ones. And that's signifying to me that Pokemon's lifespan is getting shorter and a bit worrying. So what can be the future for Pokemon? Well, I'm going to be honest guys, and this might sound crazy, but I think it's going to leave the 3DS probably in the next 2 iterations. I believe they'll probably make another iteration on the 3DS, and then probably one more, or not, so it could be 1 or 2. And the next iteration, I think the 3rd iteration, or 2nd, depending on what they do, might be on the Switch. Now, you might be thinking, the Switch? Are you mental? Think about it for a second. The Switch is a portable console now. So it's got the capability of the 3DS, pretty much. I mean, yes, it doesn't have the touchscreen, but that's where I think Pokemon might end up. It might end up on the Switch as its next home, in the future. Now, a lot of people will say, well, it's always been on like these handhelds because people go on, play on the go. And that is true. But the Switch is also doing that as well. So I got a feeling they might end up discontinuing the 3DS line in the future. I think probably the next 5 years. And probably move Pokemon to the Switch. Now, this might not happen. Like I said, this is speculation at the moment. But until Nintendo or Game Freak come out and say, yes, we are doing this, I am going to leave it at that as speculation. But if that's the case, if it goes to the 3DS, Switch, where's that leave Pokemon? Because it can't do half of the mechanics it does now on the 3DS, where you can just, use the touchscreen to do things. You have to use those little joypads, and those little joypads are very fiddly, I'll admit that. I have to admit that there could be a future, and do you know what I think Pokemon's future will be? I believe it'll be an RPG kind of thing. Like an MMO, like multiplayer online RPG. And I believe that is a possibility, and I think it could happen. And I probably might do a video on that, how that can happen. And it is easy to do. But the question is, would you want that? Would you want that to go that route, like an online multiplayer RPG kind of route for Pokemon? Or do you want it to stick where it is, on the 3DS, where people can, get it, enjoy, and have it on the go? Or do you think it's time for Pokemon to move to the next level in, going to the Switch? And also, the regions as well. We are running out of regions to explore. I mean, we could go to South America. We could go to, like Australia, Antarctica, or the Middle East kind of thing. But the problem is, it's like I said before, it's the Pokemon. They need to be engaging. I mean, let's look at the recent Pokemon, to be honest. Who got the most attention? Litten, the kitten, got a lot of attention, but when it came to actual match play, not that much. Who else? Oh yeah, the Alola Vulpix, that got a lot of attention. But unfortunately, yet again, rarely seen play. Who else has had a lot of attention. Muck. Now, Alola Muck is one that does get a lot of play, as well as, Celagon and Necrozma. They get a lot of play as well. I mean, a lot of Legends do get a lot of play, as well as some of the Pokemon, but to be honest, a lot of them don't after that. The only one I've seen a lot of play of is an Ultra Beast called Kitana. I've seen that a lot over the past, few matches I've been playing recently. I've also seen a lot of other Pokemon from, previous gens mostly than I have of the current gens. And that is a worrying trend. And this is where I think Pokemon the guys at Game Freak, need to change up the formula a bit. They need to rejig it a bit and make Pokemon a bit more, engaging, a bit more like decent in play, and try and bump these Gen 1s away for a little while and bring out some new blood. And also the formula they're using, like the fusion thing, which is pretty much indicating to me that some Pokemon could fuse with another Pokemon under certain pretexts. Like how Necrozma can fuse with like Celagon and Luna if you have the Transformer, and you can fuse into that Dragon. I believe that is, the future of Pokemon. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of that, as well as probably, other like unique mechanics, which I think is a good thing. It does spice up Pokemon, but unfortunately, that does not help its lifespan problem. Because it's getting out quicker and quicker, it's trying to compete with other games out there that keep relevant. I mean, look no further than, the Battlefronts, the CODs, and some of the fighting games like are out yearly. It's like, yeah, you're trying to compete against them, and that is a massive market you're trying to puncture, but it's not that easy. And I think Pokemon might be trying too hard to puncture in that market. Why not stay with your hardcore fans and hopefully, bring, most of them in through, your cartoons. I mean, that's how I got into Pokemon, because, of cartoons, the original anime series, plus, word of mouth from my buddy Spinder. So I think Pokemon in general will have a lifespan, have a long future, but I don't think it'll be the same, for long. I think they're going to have to do something drastic and, something different. And that's my video, folks, on Pokemon's my thoughts on their lifespan and future. What do you think? Do you think Pokemon might go the route of the RPG route, or do you think they might stay the, the course where they got, the try and true method, or will they rejig it so much that it might not be the same game at all? And I might do that video about, if you wanted, like, how they could do an RPG game, because that sounds like an interesting idea to try. But hey, folks, that's the end of the video. And oh, before you guys say Pokemon technically is RPG, I mean multiplayer online RPG. MMORPG. That's what I meant to mean. But anyway, folks, what do you think? Do you think I'm right? Do you think this could happen? Or do you think I'm talking out of my arse? But anyway, folks, I'm heading off, so what do you think? I'll catch you later.